Happy Thanksgiving. Welcome to a Thanksgiving vlog.
Never seen so many.
¿Qué estás haciendo? ¿Qué? ¿Dile a Meiji? Happy Thanksgiving. I know I already said that, but welcome to this week's vlog. Actually, can you just hold the camera and record me? Gracias. Okay. Happy Thanksgiving, you guys. Welcome to this week's episode. I'm just gonna film throughout the weekend everything that we do for Thanksgiving. We have a bunch of friends from Boston here in Miami. So yesterday we went out, but I didn't film that because it was a crazy night. And this morning, like you guys saw, we had like a Thanksgiving brunch. We don't really do the whole like turkey, mashed potatoes with marshmallow kind of thing in my family. We're not American, so we don't do that. We just had like sushi and lamb chops and a bunch of desserts. And now we're gonna go out post Thanksgiving. We're gonna go to Socialista first, and then we're gonna go to La Victoria, like I said, with all of our friends from Boston. And we have a bunch of plans with them throughout the whole weekend. Roberto's here, obviously. He is leaving on Sunday morning, but I'll just bring you guys along with everything that we do. I don't think I have work tomorrow, but I might have work tomorrow because, like I said, we're Latinos. We don't do Thanksgiving, so it's not a holiday back in Colombia. But anyways, this is what I'm wearing tonight. Really cute top. This is from Edikted. You guys can use my code for 10% off. And yeah, and it's Black Friday too, so that's 60% off. But by the time you guys see this, it's not gonna be Black Friday, but you can still use my code for 10% off. I'll link it down below. But yeah, let's go get drunk. I'm kidding.
Por ejemplo, la foto que mandamos de nosotros es una foto
¿Qué?
Marico, una vez pegamos como 3, creo. Una que marico, una vez está saltando aquí.
It's boat day.
No. Parece que estoy en el bar al lado de la autopista, bro.
Crying when you're by yourself, 'cause it's a big thing.
Ahora te puedes marchar.
I did have fun.
I don't know what to do. I think he's just. I have an exam tomorrow, and my anxiety. We broke up. I'm pretty sure she was talking shit about me. I ought to get a don't want to do for my bed today. But they make fun of me. I wish I could go back in time and change things. And yeah, that's what I would do. Just don't quote me on that.
Thanksgiving break is over. Everybody already left back to Boston. Roberto already left. And I am exhausted because it was a crazy weekend. Like I said, we don't really do Thanksgiving like the typical way. For us, it's more like Semana de Receso, going out, having fun, things like that. We don't really do the whole turkey thing. But nonetheless, it was so much fun. Now let's just unwind, get ready for the week, chit chat. So let's just jump right into this week's advice segment. Today we're talking Coaches Don't Play, which is a category for relationships. And I'm going to share with you guys something that I always got criticized for, but the older that I've gotten and now I've realized that I was right. And all of the people that criticized me,
well, they're in the wrong. And that is having high standards. A lot of us struggle with this, especially when we're teenagers, when we're growing up, and when we're really finding out who we are and valuing ourselves. Our standards really have a lot to do with how much we value ourselves. And let me just tell you, when I was a teenager, all throughout high school, all throughout college, guys that I like went out with, my ex-boyfriend, they would all criticize me so much for having high standards, and they would all be like, your standards are too high, you're just never going to find a guy that's going to meet all of them, like you're asking for too much, you don't appreciate like what we're doing. And no, my standards were not too high. I was just asking the wrong person, because now Roberto, my boyfriend, meets those standards. I didn't have to lower them. So I did find somebody that was able to meet them. So I'm just going to share a little bit of that with you guys. I feel like when we're growing up, our list of standards are really just the basics. If your list of standards looks something along the lines of a guy who is kind and smart and ambitious and opens the door for me and is polite and is loyal and is not going to cheat on me and is respectful, like, sweetheart, that is not high standards. That is just the basic and bare minimum. I see so many girls have on their list of standards like, does not cheat on me. Excuse me? That is like basic, bare requirements for a guy. What I really wanted to share with you guys is that you shouldn't lower your standards for like any freaking reason. Obviously, the higher that your standards are, the harder it's going to be for you to find a person. The longer it's going to take for you to find a person. But nonetheless, you will. It's just going to take longer and it's just harder. If it was easy for everybody to find a good guy, well, we all would have good guys and none of us would be crying over guys and none of us would be getting cheated on. Obviously, it's hard. It's just like, think about it as like a pyramid. Think about it as like a triangle. At the bottom of the triangle, which is really long and big, there's a lot of douchebags and a lot of trashy guys there. It's at the bottom of the pyramid. The higher your standards are, the more you're going up the pyramid, well, the shrinkier it gets, the smaller it is, the less guys out there. So your standards are going to make it harder for you to find that guy, but you will. You will. Okay. So all of the people that ever told me, or all of the people that ever told you that just because you have high standards is going to make it impossible and that you should lower them. No, the more you lower them, sure, the more guys, but the less quality guys, more trash, more douchiness, but the higher they are, the harder it is. And what's really important here is understanding that your standards are a reflection and a mirror of how highly you think of yourself and of your self-worth. The more you expect of somebody else is a representation of how highly you think that you are worth. And I'm going to speak here in girl world and in girl language. Let's talk purses. Let's talk fashion. Let's talk luxury fashion. What is one of the leading brands in luxury and fashion? Chanel. Okay, Chanel has always been and will forever be at the top of luxury and fashion. Let me ask you, when has Chanel ever gone on sale? And I don't mean like finding Chanel purses on other websites or like used purses. No. I mean like Chanel. When have you ever seen Chanel go on sale? You're never going to walk into a Chanel store and see a for sale section. You're never going to go on their website and see a sale section, because Chanel sets the value on their brand. They say, this is how much we are worth. This is how much our purses cost. This is how highly we think of our brand. We set the value of our brand. We think that we are the top of luxury and these are our prices, and we do not give discounts. If you cannot afford a Chanel purse, then go to another store and go buy another purse. Same thing goes for Louis Vuitton. Louis Vuitton never goes on sale. Like, the actual store never gives out discounts. And it's simple. They don't give out discounts because if they lower the prices, if they do give us discounts, if they do say, all right, we're going to go on sale, that's them admitting and saying like, all right, our purses could be worth less. So we're going to give them out to you at a lower price. But they don't. They refuse to do that. I heard this like random fact once that Louis Vuitton, if they don't sell purses and they have like an inventory of purses and they didn't sell them, instead of giving out discounts and like putting them for sale so that people buy them, they burn them. They burn them and then they just like discontinue the purse. But they never give out discounts. They don't lower their value, the value of their brand. And the same goes for you. Obviously, we're not purses, we're not out for sale, but our standards are that representation of how much we think we value ourselves. So never give yourself out for a discount. If you lower your standards, you're saying, hey, I'm on sale. I am giving myself out for lower standards. And that's just you lowering your self-worth, saying, all right, I'm worth less than that. No, sweetie, you're not. You are worth a gazillion bucks. You should think so highly of yourself that your standards are incredibly high and you're not willing to settle for anything less than that. So you're not going to lower them. And like I said, yes, it's going to take longer. Yes, it's going to be harder for you to find a partner, but you will find a guy or a girl that actually meets them or that is willing to improve themselves to meet them. So don't fall under that like booby trap of you're never going to find someone, you're going to lose me if you don't lower your standards. If a guy tells you that they're going to walk away unless you like cut them some slack or like lower your standards, let them go, let them walk away. They can find somebody who has lower standards. The people with the higher standards are the people that value themselves the most. If you see a girl with low standards, that's just because their self-worth is not that high. And that's okay. When we're teenagers, when we're growing up, we're still discovering who we are. I struggled with low self-esteem, so it's okay, but that's what I'm trying to tell you. Raise your standards, make them higher. It's all about valuing yourself more, loving yourself so freaking much. It's literally all just about self-worth, self-love, knowing who you are, realizing how valuable you are, and then setting those standards. You should care more about the relationship that you have with yourself and how highly you think of yourself. And that should come before any relationship, any guy. And that's why we're not going to lower them. Don't be scared of, oh, I'm going to be single. Oh, I'm never going to find somebody. Or don't be scared of that. Don't be scared of being alone. Don't be scared of it taking a really long time. You should be, honestly, I would be more scared of lowering them or having low standards and not valuing myself that much. Value yourself so freaking much because you are worth that much. Not too long ago, one of like our friends from college, she broke up with her boyfriend, who's also like a friend of ours. They broke up, and with like some other friends, we were talking about the breakup, and we asked like, oh, like, does anyone know like why they broke up? And the reason they broke up is because she broke up with him because she told him like, you're not really measuring up to like my needs and like the things that I want. Basically, she just told him like, you're not meeting my standards. And when we were talking about the breakup, one of the people that we were talking about it with, he said like, oh my God, her standards are so high. Like she's never going to find anyone. And I turned around and I was like, no, she will. She will. Just not him. He's a great guy because like he's one of our friends. He is a really good guy, but just not for her. And she has every single right to know how much she's worth. And she's just setting those standards. She's not giving out discounts. She said, you know what? I'm done. And I know what I want. If you can't meet that, all right, goodbye. And that's the same way that you should be acting right now. That's pretty much what I did with my ex too. I was like, you're not meeting my standards. All right, goodbye. And if you can't improve yourself to meet them, I'll find someone else. And I did. I found someone who meets my standards. I didn't even have to give him a $1 freaking dollar discount. He just met them because he realized how much I'm worth, how valuable I am. And he said, I'm not going to lose this girl. So I'm going to meet every single one of her standards. And if I don't meet them, I'm going to improve myself to meet them. So never give yourself out for sale. Don't give anyone discounts. Don't lower your standards, because if you do, you're just lowering your self-worth and how highly you think of yourself. Trust me, I would literally rather be single and be single for a while and it take years to find that right person than lower them and settle for less. If you settle for less, first of all, you're just never going to be happy. But also, like I said, it's just a reflection of how much you value yourself. You're Chanel, okay? Like, don't give yourself out. Don't settle for less. Make your standards even freaking higher because you are an extremely valuable person. And if some douchebag comes around and tells you that they're too high, that they can't meet them, that like you're asking for too much, yeah, I am asking for too much because I am worth so freaking much. And I'm not going to lower my standards. I'm not going to give you a discount. If you can meet them, run along, I'll find somebody. So whether you needed to hear this right now or for future reference, take a lot of time to fall in love with yourself, to set that value on yourself, realize how valuable and how amazing you are as a person, set your standards based on that, but never give out discounts, never lower your standards. Everybody who told me, you're never going to find a guy who meets those standards. My ex-boyfriend, you're asking for too much, blah, 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 blah. No, I wasn't. I was just asking the wrong person. It's going to take time. It's going to be harder. There's less of those good guys out there, but it's better to wait for that really high quality guy who meets them than to settle for the douchebag at the bottom of the pyramid. So that's the message that I wanted to share with you guys today, because I still see some of my friends ignore red flags and like put up with some crazy stuff and just put up with nonsense and put up with douchebags just because they think that they're going to be alone and that they'd rather like just stay with that guy. He's not the only guy, okay? There's more fish in the sea. You will find them. You're not losing anything if you lose that one guy that can't meet them. You're actually losing more if you lower your standards. You're losing that respect that you should have for yourself of saying, I know my worth. This is who I am. I know who I am. And I'm not going to settle for less. And no, it's not cocky. It's confident. It's not braggy. It's self-love and self-worth. Don't put up with the bullshit. Don't ignore the red flags. Don't settle for less. I've seen, even myself, when I look back at my teenage years and some of my friends, I see them like accepting so little. You need to love yourself a little bit more than that. And honestly, there's nothing more sad than seeing an amazing girl settle for a walking trash bag just because they can't love themselves a lot and know how valuable they are. So I just wanted to share that with you. Because for so many years, I had to put up with your standards are so high and feeling bad about them and letting them make me feel bad about that. Because with my ex, when he was like, your standards are so high, I felt so bad about that. I even considered lowering them. I was like, maybe I should cut him some slack. Maybe I am asking for too much. I've had people make me feel bad for having high standards, and no, ma'am. They were so wrong, because I did end up meeting somebody who meets them and who's willing to improve themselves and make themselves better and fight to keep me by meeting those standards. So don't ever feel bad for having high standards. Don't feel bad for raising them. You should feel bad if you lower them or if they're low and if you're disrespecting yourself that way. I'm just tired of seeing so many amazing women settle for less and lower them and feel bad for valuing themselves. Know who you are and how much you're worth. Love yourself infinitely, always. More than a guy, more than a relationship. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. And I hope that it helped. I hope that if you're going through something, it might have helped, or for future reference, just in life. So that's it. That's really what I wanted to share today. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this week's vlog. I hope that you guys enjoyed the advice segment and everything that we talked about. And I will see you guys next week.